Welcome to Mafia True Crime Stories, where every silence hides a secret. Here, we don't glorify crime, we unmask it. Each episode takes you deep into the minds of real gangsters, men who built empires on loyalty, fear, and fate, and lost it all the same way. From quiet dons to ruthless street legends, every story here is told with truth, tension, and the calm before the gunshot. So pour yourself a drink, dim the lights, and let's step back into the world where every whisper could be your last. They said he carried two lives in one heartbeat, the one you saw on screen, and the one he never spoke about. A man who smiled like a saint, and listened like a sinner. They called him Paulie Walnuts on TV, but long before Hollywood, the streets of Brooklyn carved his real name into their memory, Gennaro Sirico. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more true gangster stories. Bensonhurst, early 1950s. A skinny Italian kid with slick hair leans against a brick wall, watching older guys in silk suits step out of Cadillacs. Their rings caught the sunlight. Their respect didn't need volume, it walked ahead of them. Tony didn't come from privilege. He came from noise, shouting matches through thin apartment walls, mothers praying over pasta pots, fathers working jobs that wore out the spine faster than the clock. But even as a teenager, he noticed something. Some men worked to survive. Others commanded survival. "Keep your head down, kid," one old-timer once muttered to him outside a bar, cigarette ash falling like snow. Tony just smirked. Heads down don't get noticed. He had no idea then. The life he admired from the sidewalk would soon swallow him whole, and the line between actor and outlaw would blur forever. Brooklyn streets shape men the way ocean waves shape stone, slow, steady, unforgiving. Tony grew up with the hum of corner radios, the smell of fresh bread from Italian bakeries, and the quiet rule everyone understood. Respect keeps you alive. Disrespect gets you remembered in the wrong way. Kids played stickball. Men whispered names that never made it to church bulletins. And Tony, he watched it all like a student studying a sacred code. He wasn't born dangerous. He became it. His mother worked in a factory, wiping her forehead with tired hands. His father hustled for any hours he could get. A honest life, but honesty didn't pay rent on time. Honesty didn't put good shoes on a kid's feet. Tony felt that hunger early. The kind that isn't just in the stomach, but in the soul. I need to be somebody, not just another face waiting for Friday's paycheck. "Tony, promise me you stay clean," his mother pleaded one night, voice trembling like old church glass. He kissed her head. "Ma, I'll do what I gotta do." Promises weren't prayer in Brooklyn, they were survival lines. And he'd already chosen his side. Because in that neighborhood, boys didn't dream of baseball. They dreamed of respect, and the men who enforced it. Soon, Tony would learn that loyalty could make you rise. And one wrong debt could make you disappear. Late 50s Brooklyn nights had a rhythm, bar doors swinging, laughter turning sharp after midnight, and men who spoke more with a nod than a sentence. Tony wasn't watching anymore. He was walking among them. It started small. A borrowed jacket. A favor here, a message there. Cash in hand, respect in the eyes of men twice his age. He wasn't some street punk, he learned fast, moved quiet, and, most importantly, kept his mouth shut. In a world built on secrets, silence wasn't just golden. It was currency. One night, a local captain slid an envelope across a bar table. "You did good, kid," he said. Tony tapped it. "And if I keep doing good, you won't worry about rent again." That was the moment the sidewalk kid became a player. That envelope wasn't just money, it was permission. To step deeper. To be trusted. To matter. But the higher you climb in Brooklyn's shadows, the more eyes follow you. And Tony was already making noise in places where whispers were safer. A name was forming for him, sharp, quick, impossible to ignore. But every rise in the street comes with a price no one warns you about. Early 60s. Cigarette smoke curling in diner lights. Car doors shutting with quiet confidence. Tony wasn't the kid watching anymore, he was the man others watched. He walked into rooms slow, shoulders loose, eyes steady. Not trying to be feared. Just refusing to be underestimated. He handled problems without shouting. A look here. A quiet word there. In a world addicted to noise, Tony's calm was dangerous. Guys make mistakes, he once said to a young runner trembling over a missed delivery. He leaned in, voice low. But disrespect? That ain't a mistake. That's a decision. Power didn't change him, it confirmed him. He wasn't flashy. No big coats, no loud suits. His strength was efficiency, and people trusted efficiency more than muscles. He lived like a soldier of the street. Straight shoulders. Early mornings. Never late. Sometimes ruthless, always predictable, and that consistency earned him a reputation rare in life. But as his circle grew, so did whispers. Envy has sharp teeth in Brooklyn, and loyalty? It's only real until someone gets scared. Tony's rise was quiet. But betrayal? That always arrives loud, even when it walks in unsoft shoes. With power comes shadows, not the ones cast by streetlights, but the ones growing inside men who once shook your hand. By the late 60s, Tony wasn't just respected, he was feared just enough, and sometimes fear turns friends into accountants of their own survival. A crew he trusted started meeting without him. Whispers over espresso cups. Side glances at card tables. One guy stopped calling him Tone and switched to Sirico, a small change, but small changes in that world are like cracks in concrete. They start quiet, spread fast. One night, a guy he came up with, Joey, someone he once shared a meatball sub with on a stoop, leaned in and whispered, "Watch your left. Someone ain't happy." Tony didn't flinch. "You saying names?" Joey shook his head. "In our world, names get you buried." Tony sat back, pretending calm, but inside, a colder instinct took over. He started walking slower. Watching who watched him. Trust wasn't broken, it was thinning, like old rope. And in Brooklyn, once you feel that air change, you don't sleep the same. You don't shake hands the same. You listen more than you talk. Some men fear bullets. Real wise men fear silence, and Tony was hearing too much of it. The 70s brought a new enemy, not street rivals, not jealous soldiers, but the government. Black sedans creeping down blocks. Guys taking 4 coffee and never returning to the same life. FBI jackets flashing like storm warnings. Tony noticed things. A car parked twice across the street. A neighbor suddenly too friendly. Clipped conversations when he walked into a room. He once spotted 2 agents pretending to read newspapers outside a bakery. He bought cannoli, walked past them, and murmured, "You boys like pastry that much?" They didn't respond, government faces never do. But their silence confirmed everything. He wasn't scared, he was alert. Paranoia in that life isn't sickness. It's insurance. He changed routes. Stopped trusting knock patterns. Stopped talking in cars. A friend told him, "You're seeing ghosts." Tony replied, "Ghosts don't tap phone lines." And he was right. Soon the indictment started. Names got printed in papers. And Tony's world didn't feel like Brooklyn anymore, it felt like a chessboard where every square could explode. The rumors were true. The feds wanted him. And in the mob life, once the law starts breathing down your neck, friends don't offer air, they wait to see if you drown. In the end, a man doesn't fall from bullets. He falls from pressure, slow, constant, quiet like water wearing down stone. By the late 70s, Tony's world was shrinking. Doors once open were now half closed. Calls felt delayed. And when men avoid eye contact, it isn't shyness, it's calculation. One cold afternoon, the knock came. Not frantic. Measured. Federal rhythm. He opened the door. Agents stood there, not angry, confident. Like fishermen who finally felt the line pull tight. "Anthony Sirico." We need to talk." He didn't run. Running is for men who doubt themselves. He simply nodded, grabbed his coat, and whispered to himself, "Loyalty kept me safe. Let's see if it saves me." Down at the bureau, they laid out photos, phone logs, associate lists. Every piece of a life he thought was invisible. "You give us names," an agent said. "You go home tonight." Tony leaned back, hands clasped. "You boys think I'm stupid or scared?" The agent sighed. "We think you're tired." Maybe he was. But tired or not, a man's word is his spine. He refused. Calm. Firm. The room grew still, and that silence, it wasn't defeat. It was dignity. But dignity doesn't stop handcuffs. And loyalty doesn't soften prison doors when they slam shut. Prison is loud, clanking gates, voices echoing off concrete, steel trays banging like bad music. Yet Tony found the quiet in it. Because real punishment isn't the noise outside, it's the thoughts inside. He shaved each morning with steady hands. Pressed his shirt. Polished his boots until they reflected the fluorescent lights. A ritual. A reminder, you can cage a body, not a standard. Some guys paced. Some shouted. Tony observed, the same way he did as a kid in Brooklyn. Only difference now? He wasn't looking up at power, he was remembering how he once held it. One younger inmate asked him, "You regret it?" Tony smirked softly. "Kid, regret's a luxury. Lessons, those I got plenty of." Days stacked like bricks. He spent evenings staring at a small window, whispering to the sky. One day at a time. And slowly, something shifted. Not weakness. Not fear. Clarity. Power fades. Friends fade. Freedom fades. But honor? That sits with you in a cell like a quiet friend who doesn't need to speak. And while walls tried to break him, they accidentally built something stronger. A man who understood life sharper. And knew the world outside would never look the same again. Years passed. Release day arrived not with cheers, but with quiet dignity. No parade. No old friends waiting at the gate. Just fresh air, sunlight, and a world that had moved on without him. Brooklyn looked slicker, less grit, more glass. The young guys on corners didn't look like soldiers anymore, they looked like kids pretending to be dangerous. Tony walked slower now. Not from weakness, from wisdom. Every step measured, every glance deliberate. He'd learned that loud men burn fast. Quiet men live longer. Hollywood eventually found him, a life twist only fate could script. The kid who once admired real gangsters from a stoop became the man who played one on screen, and did it so well because he didn't need to act. He just had to remember. Fans loved him as Paulie Walnuts, the swagger, the humor, the edge. But behind the scenes, he carried a private truth. He had lived the life people only watched. And he survived the chapters most never see. Funny, huh? He once joked to a young actor. Spent half my life avoiding cameras. Now they pay me to stand in front of them. He wasn't chasing power anymore. He'd become something rarer. A man who outlived the streets without forgetting them. Old age welcomed him the way the streets never did, gently. Coffee instead of corner meetings. Grandkids' laughter instead of sirens. Scripts instead of whispers in back rooms. Some men look back at their lives with fear. Others with pride. Tony looked back with understanding. Every choice, every scar, every night he didn't know if he'd see morning, it all built the man who could now sit in silence and feel peace, not paranoia. People ask if I'd change anything, he once said in an interview, voice steady as stone. I tell them, the life made me who I am. And I never ratted. That's something I take to the grave. There it was, the rule of his world. Never break your word. Never betray your people. He wasn't perfect. No gangster ever is. But he kept the one code that mattered to him, and in the end, loyalty wasn't his weakness, it was his legacy. Even as his steps slowed, his reputation didn't. He lived long enough to be honored, joked about, admired, not feared. And when the credits of life rolled, he left quietly. Not as a legend of crime, but as a reminder. Some men carry two lives, but only one truth. He outlived the world he built, not because he was lucky, but because he never broke his word. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more Mafia tales told with truth, soul, and honor.